Don't miss the inaugural All-American Cup Team Tennis Tournament, presented by Thomas J. Henry, at the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio, Texas, November 11 through 13. The All-American Cup features 10 top men's U.S. players competing on 2 teams, East versus West, each captained by the greatest tennis doubles team of all time, Mike and Bob Bryan. You don't want to miss this. Brother versus brother, East versus West, best versus best. Tickets on sale now at allamericantenniscup.com.
All right, Pickle. Time for some headlines from across the state of Texas. And we will start with another high-profile transfer, this one in the Austin area. Greg Powers, our recruiting analyst here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, reports that Jacob Henry, a defensive tackle from Lake Travis, is leaving Lake Travis and is going to play his senior season at Vandegrift. Vandegrift, of course, played for a 6A Division II state championship last year. Henry had 50 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks in an all-district season there for Lake Travis. He is a recruit of some note, some repute, a guy that we certainly have our eye on here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. We have him as a 3-star prospect in Dave Campbell's Texas Football rising on TexasFootball.com/recruiting. He is one of the things that is noteworthy about him is his dad. His dad is Mark Henry, former Olympian and a wrestler. Yesterday was WrestleMania, so that's notable, I suppose. Yes, so he is an accomplished wrestler as well. He qualified for state last year as well. So Jacob Henry, a 3-star defensive tackle, is transferring from Lake Travis to Vandegrift. And we posted this on TexasFootball.com. We posted it on Facebook, and I made a mistake of... You okay?
I thought my coffee was warm, and it's not. It's very cold, and it was very bitter. Sorry.
She made a face. But that was actually the kind of face that some people in the comments on Facebook were making. And honestly, I should never have gone through Facebook. But
no, that's on you.
A lot of people who are really like, oh, man, like transfers all over the place, up and arms, stuff like that. I think it's worth resetting the transfer process here in Texas and how it works. You can't just transfer willy-nilly, especially, to be clear, you cannot transfer for athletic purposes.
No.
The way that it works, let's say that Ashley Pickle wants to transfer from Tepper High School to Pickle High School, okay? Which,
seems
why wouldn't
fitting.
you? Yeah, absolutely. You're the star quarterback for Tepper High School. You want to transfer to Pickle High School. I have to fill out a form. Me, your coach, your former coach, have to fill out a form saying whether or not you are transferring for athletic purposes, whether or not I believe you are transferring for athletic purposes.
Yeah, I think the parents have to sign in and all sorts of stuff, but the coach is the main factor.
It's called a PAPF form is what it's called. And so if I, the coach at Tepper High School where you are transferring from, check yes, you are transferring for athletic purposes, you are ineligible next year. You are ineligible. Now, that can get appealed to the district executive committee, and then that can get appealed to the state executive committee, but you are ineligible until you are ruled otherwise eligible. If I do not check that box, if I say, no, you are not transferring for athletic purposes, then you are eligible to move on to Pickle High School. And so, for those who are up in arms and saying, oh my gosh, look at this guy, he's just transferring to a winner, somewhere along the line, Hank Carter, the coach who is losing Jacob Henry, decided, no, he's not transferring for athletic purposes. He's good to go to Vandegrift. So, I understand that there are some people who frankly just don't understand how this type of thing works.
Right.
And that they think of this as like transfer portal, like it is in the college ranks where you can just kind of transfer for any reason.
Yeah.
That is not the case in the UIL. That coaches are ultimately in control as to whether or not a kid is eligible the next year. Now, we can certainly have a conversation about that power dynamic.
Right.
But for this one, and in situations like this, whenever you see a transfer like this, just know that if he is eligible next year, it is because his former coach, the coach who would theoretically have every reason to keep him from being eligible, said, no, he's good.
Yep.
And such is the case.
Well, and the other thing is, too, I feel like people don't understand, like, this isn't just a sheet of paper that the UIL gets and it's like a check.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Like, they don't just go through with a stamp and approve it. Like, they read through it. Like, it's a long process.
Yeah, it is not easy to transfer. and to be eligible, but such is the case. And so Jacob Henry is transferring to Vandegrift. Some coaching changes in the Texas high school football world. We're staying in the Austin area. Talk about Round Rock. Round Rock has a new head coach. Cody Moore has been promoted from their defensive coordinator position. You may remember Jeff Cheatham was promoted from head football coach at Round Rock High School to athletic director of Round Rock ISD. That opened up Round Rock High's job. They have promoted their 37-year-old defensive coordinator, Cody Moore, who's a Comfort guy. He played college football at TCU. He's been their defensive coordinator for the past 4 seasons. Before that, he was the defensive coordinator at Stephenville. Before that, he was on staff at Flower Mound. Remember, Round Rock was 9-2 last year. He's taken over a good program, and yeah. So keep an eye on that. There's as the new head coach is former TCU defensive lineman Cody Moore, new head coach at Round Rock. Down to the Houston area, Texas Football Today's own
Our guy.
Kelvin Chatham is on the move. You may remember we talked with Kelvin Chatham, the head coach at Booker T. Washington.
It was
down
like
there in
one of
Houston,
our favorite interviews.
as a guy who had done unbelievable work and helped turn around that Booker T. Washington program, led them to a 10-1 mark in 2022, their first district title since 2006, their first double-digit winning season since 1994. Did unbelievable work. He is now going to become the new head coach at Aldine Davis. Aldine Davis, Scott Joseph left after 4 seasons. They're in late February. Chatham is an Aldine ISD guy. He's an Aldine Nimitz grad. He went on to a college career at Illinois State. Was in the NFL and spent some time in the CFL before he moved into the coaching ranks. But Kelvin Chatham is getting the going back to Aldine ISD from whence he came. He's going to become the new head coach at Aldine Davis. And so Booker T. Washington in Houston is open. Speaking of Houston ISD, let's go to Houston Chavez. Mm-hmm. And Houston Chavez has made a hire. Rafael Hernandez stepped down after just 1 season. They have a new head coach. It is Katy Paetow offensive line coach Louis Rodriguez. Louis Rodriguez is the new head coach at Houston Chavez. He's a Katy guy, but before that, he does have some kind of a roundabout resume. He was a grad assistant at Boise State. He was on the staff at Pembroke College in North Carolina. He's probably best known. He was the offensive coordinator for 3 seasons at Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas, which is a kind of a nationally known powerhouse program. Mm-hmm. He was at Bishop for a minute before he came back to hometown. He was the offensive line coach, Katy Paetow, now going to be the new head coach at Houston Chavez. So congratulations to Louis Rodriguez, the new head coach there at Bishop. Bishop. At Houston Chavez. A lot of 2-name schools.
Yes.
Bullard is looking for a new head coach. Scott Calloway announced that he is retiring from coaching, moving into an athletic director only role. This was reported by our friend Phil Hicks at the Tyler Morning Telegraph. He arrived and he has an 86-83 record overall. He was at Big Sandy, where he led them to back-to-back state semifinal appearances in 2004 and 2005. He has been there he's been at Bullard for the past 6 seasons. And he is now moving into an AD-only role, so Bullard is looking for a new head coach. Ropes, Tiny Ropes,
yep.
Former 6-man school, now moving up to the has moved up to the 11-man ranks. They have made a hire. Lane Jackson was who's going to stay as the stay on as the athletic director. But they have hired a new head coach, Bo Riker. Bo Riker is the linebackers coach at Brock. He is a West Texas guy. He's from Anton originally, but he's spent 2 seasons on the staff at Archer City. He's a guy who has that kind of West Texas pedigree, so he's going back out west to take over at Ropes.
I am actually kind of surprised that a school of that size would have a separate athletic director and head football coach. That's very unusual.
It is. If I remember correctly, Ropes is pretty good at basketball.
Yes, yeah, Ropes is very good at basketball. But that is just shocking. Most of the time, programs, even at 3 and 4A level, most of the time you don't have anyone that's doing both of those jobs.
Most certainly. Anyway, there you go. Bo Riker, the new head coach at Ropes. Electra has made a hire. Electra was looking for a head coach after Ryan Quillen stepped down. He stepped down he's going to remain as the athletic director and head boys basketball coach. But they have hired Salina's run game coordinator, Josh McKitty, to be their next head coach. He's been at Salina for the past 4 seasons. He's been an assistant kind of all over: Prosper, Pilot Point, Coppell, Midland Legacy, then Midland Lee, Keller, Arlington, Sam Houston, and Saxe. He's a Wiley guy originally, but McKitty is going to be joining the as head coach at Electra. He's actually the second assistant from the Salina staff to get a head coaching job. Travis McLean got a job at Rivercrest back in February. So Electra has their new head coach. Riesel's looking for a head coach. Tyler Crow has resigned after a pair of seasons there. Went 14-11 there for the Indians. Led them to the regional semifinals back in this past year in 2022. And he's going to they posted the job on the THSCA board, which means that they are going to. So there should be a Matt Stepper reports on TexasFootball.com that's been posted on the THSCA board, and they say that they want their applications by April 12th, which means and with potential start date of April 18th. They're going to move quick on this, which you have to imagine is the case. The later we go, the quicker these things tend to have to move. So Riesel is looking for a new head coach as Tyler Crow is out after a pair of seasons. And finally, this written up by your own friend Greg Tepper on TexasFootball.com. Let's talk about Colleyville Covenant Christian.
You were excited because it was baseball related.
Colleyville Covenant Christian was looking for a new head coach. Phil Toe has been there for a while. He's now going to move into just an athletic director role there at Colleyville Covenant. So they've been looking for a new head coach. They found a new head coach by promoting their offensive coordinator or their associate head football coach, as you do. Their associate head football coach, a gentleman by the name of Vernon Wells.
Ever heard of him? Vernon
Wells, you may remember, as a 3-time American League All-Star outfielder for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's also their head baseball coach, which makes sense because he was really good at baseball. He was a guy who played 15 seasons in Major League Baseball. He was, I believe, the 6th overall pick in the 1997 draft. Yeah, MLB draft. He does have history with football. He was a star at Arlington Bowie, and actually had signed to play both football and baseball for Texas.
Holy cow, that's unheard of.
Yes, before he was taken 5th overall in the 1997 MLB draft. I
didn't realize that.
Yeah, before he was taken 5th overall in the 1997 MLB draft. And then he's like, I'm going to go take that money. And so he did. And that ended up being a great move for him. And now he's going to get back on the gridiron. He's been with the program for the past 6 years and helping Colleyville Covenant with a couple of outstanding seasons. They won a pair of state championships in TAPS Division III, and they had 2 other semifinal appearances. So a pretty famous, notable head coach there at Colleyville Covenant now. Vernon Wells, the new head coach at Colleyville Covenant for the Cougars. As I wrote on TexasFootball.com, talk about a home run hire.
Oh, my God.
And those are some
next.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe.